This is Kurtis Rourke, quarterback out of Indiana. Kurtis played at Holy Trinity High School in Ontario, Canada, and was a monster at quarterback. While I was unable to find stats for his senior year, Kurtis would help the Titans to the 2017 Halton Championship and was selected as a first-team All-Star in both 2017 and 2018. Coming out of high school as a two-star prospect, according to my research, he only received one offer, prompting him to join former NFL quarterback and brother Nathan Rourke and committed to the University of Ohio. Kurtis would redshirt his first season and would be a backup in his second season. Upon grabbing the starter job in his third season, he'd throw for 11 touchdowns but would struggle with turning the ball over with 7 interceptions. However, he'd break out in his fourth season, passing for 3,257 yards, 25 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions, but would unfortunately tear his ACL in his right knee, causing him to miss the final 3 games of the season. He'd return in his 5th season but wouldn't be able to come close to his stats in 2022 as he fully recovered. After the 2023 season, Kurtis would enter the transfer portal, possibly wanting to get out of his brother's shadow, and would commit to the University of Indiana. Kurtis would join Curt Cignetti and the Hoosiers with high hopes. Unfortunately, he'd re-tear his ACL in August, though it wouldn't be officially diagnosed until after the season. Despite this, Kurtis would have a phenomenal season, throwing for 3,042 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. He'd helped the Hoosiers to an amazing season in which they made the college football playoffs for the first time in school history as the 10th seed. Even though they would go on to lose the game to Notre Dame, Kurtis would have surgery to repair his knee and would declare for the 2025 NFL Draft. Before I move on, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to like and subscribe to never miss one of my videos. Kurtis has the optimal build for an NFL quarterback, being 6'5", 231 pounds, meaning he's able to take hits while being able to see over the rush. When the rush mounts, his pocket movement is good enough to keep himself upright while avoiding pressure, allowing him to keep his eyes downfield to get the ball out with his quick and fluid throwing motion. Kurtis loves to attack the middle of the field, being a natural at hitting intermediate routes. This is helped with his great route recognition, throwing the ball before the receiver is out of their break, and his great fake-outs with shoulder twists and quick eye movement can leave corners and safeties guessing. Kurtis is also a natural field general, able to bark out blocking assignments and audibles at the line, not hesitating to make adjustments before the snap. He's got everything an NFL team could love as a quarterback with as much experience as he has. While Kurtis can maneuver in the pocket, his escapability has much to be desired. He isn't necessarily the fastest, and he lacks the proper twitch to maximize yards, possibly due to his ACL injuries. He can struggle to get passes downfield, pointing to a possible strength issue if he's unable to set his feet, which is shown in some fade in his passes on deep boundary throws. Kurtis also tends to be late to throw a pass when he's pressured, not being reliable and capitalizing on zone switches when there. He can also tend to drop his eyes to watch the rush rather than keeping his eyes downfield, and can struggle to reset himself if the first read isn't there or becomes disrupted. Pair all this with Kurtis already being 24, coming off 2 ACL injuries, and having somewhat inconsistent collegiate production, NFL teams could have a lot of concerns that keep him further down a lot of draft boards. Indiana's Cinderella season is a big reason why Kurtis has been noticed, and his fantastic play was definitely noticed. But I'd personally be concerned with the injuries, with his run game taking a substantial hit. If he doesn't recover well enough, he could become a pure pocket passer with very little mobility in the NFL, which is the opposite direction the league is trending, and could end up being like Cooper Rush as a career backup. But there is upside in his game with his great physical traits and field general tendencies, and I could see an NFL team taking Kurtis to try and develop him to see what he can become. With this being a weaker QB draft class on paper, I could see Kurtis Rourke being selected somewhere between round 5 or 6. With being one of the top 10 QBs and receiving an invite to the NFL Combine, Kurtis could definitely help his draft stock and be one of the highest risers in this year's draft.